Hello besties, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Vanessa, and in today's vlog we are just going to be mood reading. I don't know what it is. I feel myself getting close to a slump and I don't want to slump, so I am just gonna read what I want to read. I am truly a mood reader at heart, and whenever I'm forcing myself to do more videos, I feel myself dipping. I read slower, so I want to pick up back speed. I didn't do well on my October TBR and it's not looking too good for the November TBR, so I'm just going to read whatever so that I can get back into the habit, and then this way I can see if I can pick up some books for the November TBR so I can be a little bit more successful. Now, the first book that we are going to read, it was actually on my October TBR, and that is the Caraval series, the first book, Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I really want to get into this story because I am so tired of not being part of the club when it comes to the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. Seriously, everyone's been talking about it for the longest time. Everybody loves it, and I feel like I never can chime in because I don't know the series. And I know I don't have to read the Caraval series to get into that other series, but I want to give myself the best chance of having the best experience and really knowing all the lore and the backstory and really falling in love with the characters. So I'm gonna read this, and it's not like this is not a good series. People love this series also, if they just don't like it as much as the Once Upon a Broken Heart series from what I gather. But anyways, I digress. We are starting with this book. What are we picking up next? I don't know. We're just gonna go with the vibes. Once I'm done with this, I will know what I want to read. The only thing I'm pretty sure of, it's probably gonna be a new series. So probably the only theme for this vlog is going to be starting new series. Am I in the middle of about 20 series? Yes, I am. Will that stop me from starting a new series? No, it won't. It certainly will not. So don't judge me, mind your business. We're gonna start with this, and then we will pick up the next book when I'm ready to pick it up. We'll see. Currently on page 74, and I am loving this. When I was younger, I used to be so afraid of Alice in Wonderland. I don't even know why, but the whole movie just creeped me out, and I just didn't want to watch it. And I'm getting the same vibes from that movie, but I'm loving it. I love it so much. I love all the characters so far. I love Scarlett. She definitely gives me older sister vibes, which she is, and it makes sense, and I love that about her because I'm an older sister. And then of course Tella is giving me little sister vibes, that is just doing her own thing and getting in trouble and not caring about the consequences, and also I'm loving that. The dynamic feels very real. Julian is interesting. I like him, but I don't trust him. Something about him makes me feel like there's more to this story. There's something, and it's so funny because that's why I stopped to talk to you guys in the middle of this chapter, because I just read this area where it says there's something he wasn't telling her, and I agree. From the beginning of the story up until this point, I've been getting the feeling that Julian is not saying everything. He's not necessarily lying, but there's more to this story. Something is off here, but I'm liking it. Editing Vanessa here, besties. I just realized that I never really said what Caraval is about, and that's probably because I feel like everyone else has already read this book except for me, but here you go. So in this story, we are following two sisters, Scarlett and Donatella. They've always wanted to see the show Caraval, which is basically a magical competition hosted by the one and only Legend, but he's never come to the island where they live, so they never got to see him. This year, however, everything is different. They get an official invitation to go see it, and Donatella arranges for them to go see it despite Scarlet not really being on board. But when they get there, Donatella gets kidnapped by Legend and is basically at the center of the game. So whoever finds her wins the game. So Scarlet has no choice but to play along to find her sister and get back home. Okay, so I come with some updates. 50% into Caraval, right here, day 4 of Caraval, and I'm loving this. I am loving this. Just stopped after the biggest reveal, plot twist, potentially. I mean, I saw it coming. I kind of like guessed it, but even though I guessed it, it still feels like I can't believe it, because if it's true what I guessed, then I need to figure out like how does they all play out. We have been getting little reveals after reveals after reveals, and it's been so good, but at the same time the world is so fantastical, so rich with like magical elements and stuff like that, that you don't know what's going to happen. You don't understand it. It feels like a fever dream, but like in the best way. I absolutely love this. I'm so mad that it took me so long to read this book, because this is so good. I love this. The writing is so beautiful. The comparison, the analogies being used, so good. I am highlighting. So when I'm reading fantasy, I like to highlight. It's not always the quotes, it's just points of the story that I think may become relevant. So I feel like I can go back to them and say, oh, okay, I read this before, this is where it was. So I try to do that, but I also have some really nice quotes that I've been highlighting also, because some of the little offhand little comments being said are so good, and I just love it. I love it. This is good, and I cannot believe that people like Once Upon a Broken Heart more, because this is so good to me. Then I don't know, Once Upon a Broken Heart is probably going to be like a god tier fantasy story for me. I love this. I just finished Caraval and I loved it. Absolutely loved it, devoured it. It was amazing. Again, I've said this multiple times. It felt like a fever dream. It felt like an entire world that I just got dropped in. And I'm actually sad to be out of it, because I want to just dive right back in. But at the same time, I'm going to move on, because again, I don't want this vlog to be just me reading the Caraval series. But I really enjoyed this. This is a 4.5. It was so good. It was so good. I'm giving it a 4.5 because I also don't like the epilogue. Like up until the epilogue, perfection. I don't like the epilogue, because what happened in the epilogue, what was revealed in the epilogue, makes me upset. And if you watch my spoiler version of this, because I'm going to post a spoiler version of me reading Caraval, you will understand at the end of the book why I felt so upset and cheated. But it's fine. It's still intriguing enough that now I must read the second book. I'm not gonna read it right away. I'm going to actually pick up Phantasma, because I've heard from the girlies that Phantasma is basically Caraval for adults, or adult Caraval. And I'm so intrigued by that now, because this was so good that I'm like, if people are comparing Phantasma to Caraval and they're saying it's adult, you got me there. You got me there. So that's what I'm reading next. And yeah, I will see you guys when I pick it up. Okay guys, the weather is so gloomy outside, and it's perfect weather to get into another fantasy. It's actually the next day. I couldn't jump straight into Phantasma like I wanted to. I didn't know that it was going to have this effect on me, but Caraval really was such a beautiful read that I just needed to sit with it. I needed to sit with the characters, needed to sit with the story. I don't know why I get like that. The more I enjoy a book, the less I am able to jump right into another book, because I just want to have some time with the characters. But it's me. So we are starting, I've had my time. We are starting Phantasma by Kaylee Smith, and here you go. I'm so excited for this one. I feel like it's going to be so different than what I normally read, because it's also considered a dark romance. I think it's like dark paranormal romance. So let's see if I enjoy this. Watch me be all excited and decide to like, I'm gonna DNF this. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Oh, the dedication. I love dedication. Is it just me that I'm always reading the dedication looking for a hint of what the author was trying to accomplish when they wrote that book? To those who've had to claw their way out of the dark and still choose to be a light in this world, I'm proud of you. I love that. I love that. All right, besties, I am here with an update for Phantasma. And so far, I am liking it, but I'm not obsessed yet. I don't love it. So I've seen a lot of great reviews for this book. A lot of people love it. I've seen Emmy's review. She's a booktuber that I really enjoy. She reads a lot of fantasies and she reads really, really fast. Like she says herself, she's a feral reader. I love when she says that. And she enjoyed this. I'll link her review, her vlog about it in the comments. But I also saw Ellen, which is another booktuber that I really enjoy, and she did not like this, and I'll link her vlog in the description. So basically, you're gonna get three perspectives on this book to decide if this is a book for you. But I'm enjoying it. I'm just not loving it. I think I expected to like completely fall in love, and I'm not there yet. Basically, in this book, we're following Ophelia. She is a necromancer. This is set in the backdrop of Louisiana, and I love the backdrop and I love the description that the author is giving us so far. Her mom has passed away, and they discover something about their family that she didn't know about. So she is trying to solve this issue, and her sister is like, I'm gonna help you solve it. And by helping her solve it, she decides to run away and go to Phantasma, which is basically the equivalent of Caraval, where it's like this tournament competition type of thing where people enter and a lot of creepy, crazy stuff happen, and you go through levels. There's 9 levels. It happens over a period of 9 days, and the last person to win the competition gets a wish. And basically, you know, if you're in trouble, like this wish could solve whatever trouble you have, because I don't think there's any limit to what the wish can be. But she did not want her sister to do this. So when she finds out her sister is potentially there, she's not sure. I think that's one of my gripes with this story. She's not sure that her sister is even there, but she actually goes in and enters Phantasma, and she tries basically to start the game so she can find her sister and get her sister home. So she doesn't have any illusion of winning the game. She just wants to find her sister. But the way things are set up, she has to play at least some of the game so she can find her sister, and you'll get to know why. So far, I like Ophelia. She is definitely a different character. I like that she is very capable, that she is not one of those like, oh my god, like I can't do anything for myself, someone needs to rescue me. She has like her agency. She knows what she's doing. She has a goal. She's grumpy. Actually, in this story, she's the grumpy one. In Blackwell, which is this person that she meets there, who is basically like, I'll help you, but like I need something in return, and you'll get to get more details about that. So when Blackwell offers his help, she does not want the help, and for good reasons. But Blackwell is more of the golden retriever type. He's more of the sexy suave. He's very chill, but at the same time he's very flirtatious, and it's like he's a good one. He's a good one. I am feeling him. I am liking him. Their interaction is good. I don't know, I just don't feel any spark yet. There's definitely tension, there's definitely attraction, there's definitely a lot of things that should make this book kind of make me love it already, but I'm not. But that's fine, because I'm only 33% in, 140 pages in. So I'm gonna keep reading and I will come back with more updates. I really want to love this. Right now it's sitting at like a 3.5. So it's like, it's a good book, but nothing to like climb the mountains and like tell everybody about. It's like, okay, like, and up until this point, up until page 140, I was wondering, how is this Caraval adult? I kind of felt like it was more Caraval. In this chapter, we've entered Lust, and yeah, it's adult. It's adult. So we're gonna see how it's gonna turn out. I am actually heading out today to go to the bookstore. I'm not gonna show it in this vlog. I will have another vlog, like a weekend vlog, something like that, or a bookish vlog where I'll show it. But I'm actually about to head to the bookstore, so I will get a little bit of reading done more here while my husband gets ready because he's coming with me, yay. And then we will head out and I'll do some reading as a passenger princess, and then over there maybe we'll go to a cafe. We'll see what we get into, and I will come back with more updates for you guys. I am just over 50% in this book, and I'm afraid I'm bored. I am so bored right now. So nothing much is happening. She is going through the trials in the different levels, and I think so far we've already gone through 3 levels and nothing is really happening. It just feels like we're going through the levels, and the levels are very difficult, but at the same time, are they difficult because she is receiving some assistance? She is getting hurt, she is getting injured, but we have the assumption that she's like gonna make it, right? Because she's getting some assistance. So nothing is really happening. There are 2 plot lines in this story that we're following. We're trying to find Genevieve, and at this moment, like, there's been no revelations or anything at all pertaining Genevieve. Is like basically she's lost. Genevieve is her sister and we don't know anything at all. I guess Genevieve is doing her own thing, may or may not be alive, may or may not be inside of Phantasma. And then the other plot line that we are following, I don't want to give that one away, but even that one, there's like not even been one clue, not even a single clue towards that plot line to get us on our way. So I feel like either the second half of the book is going to be very rushed and we're going to have a lot of information being dumped on us, so maybe it's going to redeem itself, but honestly it's actually pretty bad. I thought I was at a 3.5 and now I feel like I'm at a 3 when it comes to the rating, because yes, the Blackwell is really funny. I love his little banter with her, and I do like Ophelia, but in terms of like what is going on in the story, nothing much is going on. And yes, it did get smutty already, and I mean the smut is fine, nothing crazy there. So yeah, I'm bored. I'm a little bored. I wanted a little bit more. I feel like we're just going from trial to trial, and then we're meeting devils, but they're not adding anything to the story. I feel like we keep meeting all these people, all these different characters, and so far none of them have added anything to the story. But I'm going to give this a chance because so many good reviews have said that this is an amazing book, and I don't want to miss out on an amazing story. I'm gonna keep reading, and hopefully it's going to pick up. Let's keep reading. Alright guys, I am here with a final update for Phantasma by Kaylee Smith, and by my face you guys can already tell I was disappointed. I was so disappointed. I'm not going to bash the book because it's a debut novel, and I know how hard authors work on their debut or any book whatsoever. It's their baby. They put their heart and soul into it. It's not that the book was bad. I think I'm disappointed because I went in with so much expectation, especially because of so many of the 4 and 5 stars reviews that I've seen, and then also because I loved Caraval. So because it said it was Caraval for adults, I really was going to love that. Being said, the plot got lost so much. The middle of this book, there was no plot. In the middle, what we got was a lot of trials, which I enjoyed, and a lot of smut. And then the actual plot of finding the sister, the way the story was set up, there was no way to find the sister in the middle. So really, sister goes missing. We may or may not know whether or not she's in actual Phantasma. So we're going through all these trials and going through all of this, and the sister could potentially not even be here, or if she is here, she could already be dead, but she's going through all of this. And then, oh my god guys, the smut didn't make sense. The placement of when the smut was happening was the problem for me. It was so unrealistic. Basically what we would have is her going through something traumatic, horrible, gory, like, and then immediately after she would request smut, and then he would be like, sure. And then in the throes of smut, he would say the most outlandish confessions, like, oh my God, you are the light of my life, sir. Sir, it's been 3 days. It's been 3 days. What were you doing before that? Were you in complete darkness before that? Because, you know? And then she would be like, no, we can't be together. We need to stop this. And then it would happen again. And then he would be like, we can't do this. And then it would happen again. And she would be like, we can't do this. And it felt so repetitive. It lost its effect. Like, I don't know again if the point of this was to build tension, because tension broke before the 50% mark. So I don't know if that was meant to like keep the tension, like, oh, will they, want they? It didn't, babe. It didn't keep the tension alive. What it did was make it frustrating. These are the things that I felt like would have been done differently. The smut scenes should have been placed elsewhere, not in that interval, because it didn't feel romantic anymore. The characters, we should have had more connection with them. I wish Ophelia had built a connection with them so that when some of them were dying, it felt like, oh my God, no. The trial should have felt like there is a chance that she could not make it. It felt like she was gonna make out all of them. And then the reveal at the end didn't quite land. I'm gonna give it a 3 on Goodreads, because I don't think it's a 2. A 2 is I don't read this. I don't think this is don't read this. I think this is like, it will not live up to the hype. Anyways, all of that to say, that's it. But because I watched Emmy's video about this, she said that this was Caraval meets Kingdom of the Wicked, and I was like, say less, girl. I have Kingdom of the Wicked right here. So this is actually going to be our third book for the video. So I'm gonna start Kingdom of the Wicked, and then I will come back with updates. Alright guys, I'm here with 50% update. I think it's 50%. I am on chapter 23, page 178. It feels like it's 50%, but I wanted to pause here and kind of like chat with you guys about the book. I am really enjoying it. I'm so happy I decided to pick it up. In this book, we are following Emilia, which is a witch. She comes from a long line of witches, and she's been under the impression that devils and demons are stuck in hell and that they cannot come to the human realm. But her sister, her twin sister, is brutally murdered one night, and she's the one that discovers the body. And from what she sees, she's like, oh my God, I don't think that everything is as it seems. And she also finds out that her sister has been kind of like living a double life, has had a lot of secrets, and might have been, you know, dabbling in dark arts, dark magic. So in order to solve her sister's murder, she has to do the same, and she ends up summoning a devil, one of the 7 princes of deadly sin. She summons Wrath, and she enlists his help, because at first she thinks he's behind it. She's still not sure if he's behind it when she's, you know, in this book, but he swears he's not behind it, and he's like, I want to help you to prove that I'm not behind it. So they are working together at this point in this book, finally. And so we'll see what happens there. I am enjoying it. It is not the typical romantasy. I don't even know if it should classify as a romantasy, because the romance is in the back burner. The main thing in this book is the murder mystery that we're trying to solve. And if you know me, you know that I love that, because if you watch my vlog with when I read Belladonna, nothing gets me going more than fantasy murder mystery. That's my jam. Okay, so this is really good. I love the writing, I love the pacing so far, I love all the secrets, I love the background, the history. There's so much world building in there. The world building is a little clunky though. I cannot tell you in what period of time we are. There's some elements of it that are just not adding up too much, but I don't know if they're not adding up because the story itself doesn't make sense, or if it's because Emilia is having a hard time absorbing the information, because a lot of things that she's discovering don't match up with the things that her grandmother has told her or what she's believed. So she's grappling with that. And I think when she's grappling with it, because she's confused, she's sometimes confusing us as the reader. If that's not the case, maybe it's me that's not grasping it, but that's fine, because this is a 3-book series. So I'm gonna trust the author and believe that anything that does not quite make sense right now will make sense in the future, either at the end of the book or in future books. So I'm not too, bothered by this right now. I am having a good time. I am loving Wrath. I am loving all the other devils that I'm meeting. They're all really horrible people, and that's really good. I have a feeling that I know who is behind the murder. So I'm gonna keep that to myself and see if I was right. Yeah, and so I'm having a good time. It's not a 5 stars. I can already tell that it's not, but it's definitely a 4. It's definitely 4 and above. I think something really bad would have to happen for me to like lower it, especially considering that I give Phantasma a 3. So this is much better than Phantasma. So I think we're sitting at a 4 right now, and I'm liking this. I'm loving this. So I'm so excited that I picked it up. Thank you, Emmy, for recommending this. So yeah, I will come back with more updates and when I finish the book. All right, guys, we are on chapter 43. Only a couple more pages to go. Let's read the final chapters together. Emilia is one of the most frustrating FMCs ever. She is so annoying sometimes. Ugh, I hate this. Alright guys, I finished it and I am going to settle on 4 stars for this one. It was actually really good. I actually solved the mystery pretty early on. I don't know why. I thought this person was probably behind everything, and there is additional layers to it, so it's not that simple, and I think that's really good. So we are set up for the next book really well. I have the urge to pick up the next book, so I think the author did a good job. The pacing was good. Sometimes I did feel like some of the things were a little bit redundant, and then also Emilia was getting on my last nerve. The ending was kind of like upsetting because that's not what I wanted. I had an idea of who I wanted her to be with, and I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if we're gonna enter into a love triangle. Like, I don't know. It just feels like there's so many questions now that need to be answered. And so I think that's a good thing, because now I do want to read the second book. This is really good. I enjoyed it. It's not the best thing ever, but I enjoyed the writing, I enjoyed the characters, I enjoyed the world. So yeah, so I think this is a solid one. It's a 4 star. So overall, I think that this week was a really big success. We had 5 stars for Caraval, we have 4 stars for Kingdom of the Wicked, and then a 2.53 stars for Phantasma. So I'm excited. But yes, thank you so much for watching, you guys. I am definitely in my fantasy era, so there'll be more fantasy videos. Let me know if you like those videos. Like, subscribe, and share it, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.